Hey everyone, Brayden here, coming to you with a breaking Disney news update that I have been looking forward to for quite some time, as today Disney announced the closing date for Test Track 2.0, the version of Test Track that we have been enjoying this past decade, as the long-teased Test Track 3.0 upgrade is about to get underway. Test Track will officially close on June 17th, 2024, which is a month earlier than a closing date that I previously put out on our website, a rumor that we had heard from a source. So this project is getting underway even sooner than we had projected, closing on June 17th, and that date is pretty funny if you've been keeping up with everything going on with the EPCOT overhaul, because the last big walled-off area that you have in the former EPCOT crater, in that middle area of EPCOT, is that Communicore Hall and Plaza festival building that you have. That area is currently walled off, and if you recall, Disney recently announced that that will be opening with its art exhibits and an Encanto show on June 10th, 2024, which means the walls go down at EPCOT on June 10th, and then 1 week later, another group of walls go up for a refurbishment our sources indicate will take over a year at a projected cost nearing $100 million over at Test Track. So this is a pretty serious update. So what this means is, for 1 week only out of the past years and future years at EPCOT, there will be that 1 week where there are no walls. So if you want to witness that solar eclipse tier rarity moment over at EPCOT where there are no walls in the Future World area, head over there between June 10th and June 17th. You'll probably be able to find some walls somewhere, to be quite frank, and I guess people send them to me on social media and say, Brayden, you told me there'd be no walls, but pretty crazy stuff. So after June 17th, then we're gonna have the whole Test Track area walled off. It's gonna be Wall City over there, and we'll have, our new Wall City. It's just moving to a different part of that EPCOT area there, which is wild stuff. Previously, you'll recall Disney released this concept art of the interior of Test Track 3.0. This is a visualization of the inside. It's an early concept drawing of the interior portion that you have near the part where you go outside. It's that windy road portion of the attraction where you can see it looks like the cars themselves are going to be getting those modern light bars, and all those trees in the scene seem to suggest that there's going to be less of a sim track vibe going on here and a little bit more of a green energy electric vehicle message going on as part of the new theme and plot and story that you have with this attraction as part of the update. Since then, General Motors and Walt Disney Imagineering, they have been collaborating on the creative for this. They've been fleshing out this high budget cosmetic update and plot update to the attraction, and today we got this first look at the concept they have for the new entrance to the attraction that you'll have as part of Test Track 3.0, and you will immediately notice that the canopy, which has been obstructing views of that opening day pavilion, which originally was called the World of Motion, it's been blocking it for 2 decades now. That canopy is finally coming down. That temporary looking canopy has given Disney a lot of trouble over the past 2 decades because it has torn several times in high winds when there's hurricanes heading through, and also it needs to be taken off when it gets super windy, and sometimes they forget to and it tears, and even if they don't forget to, then they have to send people up there to take it down. It's a big hassle, and the times I've gotten to go up to the GM lounge that you have upstairs at Test Track, the view of EPCOT that you have from the lounge up there, it is largely obscured by that canopy structure, which from both up there and from down below has definitely had a bit of that temporary concert venue vibe to it over these past 2 decades. Taking a look at Disney's vision for the reimagining of Test Track's entrance, you'll notice that canopy has been replaced with a new awning, a new outdoor structure which will provide the necessary cover for the queue entrance area where the cast members stand so they're not baking in the sun or getting rained on. on, but it also solves all the issues I just mentioned with the canopy, where they don't have to take it down in high winds now, and it will no longer be obstructing the VIP lounge views, and it definitely improves the aesthetics of the facade at this attraction, where you'll actually be able to appreciate the building itself. And speaking of the facade, even cooler, you'll notice that that new awning coming off of the attraction facade, it has worked into it the same look, the same sort of materials and lines as the building behind it, which has been there since 1982. And remember, GM has sponsored this pavilion since EPCOT opened. Since this one opened, it's been sponsored by General Motors. Right now, they're running it under their Chevrolet badge, but this attraction, it has been a GM attraction since EPCOT opened. It's the one EPCOT sponsor who has routinely paid to update their attraction in regular intervals since the park opened. And I wonder how much the fact that GM is paying for this update and is involved with developing this update has to do with the fact that this update seems very tasteful in how it just seems to be an update. It doesn't seem like it's trying to replace everything that's been done before, like we see Disney do with a lot of these updates. You know, they just sort of go in, like with Dinosaur, you know, we're just going to take out the whole area, you know, out with the dinosaurs, out with the old, you know, they're going extinct and in with the new. We're just going to put in the latest, most popular intellectual properties. If you take a look at this test track update, it's a very different philosophy, where if you actually look just at this one piece of concept art, you have the 1982 building, pretty much the same as it's always looked for the most part, and then you have the 1990s track addition out front, and then you have that new curvy entrance facade that they added in 2013 that looks a little bit more futuristic. The doorways part where you actually enter the building, they added that back in 2013. They're keeping that here, and now they're just building off of that stuff that they've done before. They are plussing it, adding this awning that respects and works together with all the components that have come before, while still being futuristic in its own right, with those cool futuristic looking lights, which look very similar to what's going in over at the Communicore Plaza in the middle of EPCOT. And the sign out front, it looks good too. The update on that, the whole thing just seems very cohesive and respectful to the past, but it's also futuristic, and it just seems well thought out, and it seems like a lot of consideration has gone into this. As I've said, Disney and GM have been working on this since before we got the announcement of this project at D23 last year. It's been in the works for a while. It's a pretty serious budget for what's just updating the scenes and the aesthetics at the attraction, so I'm pretty excited to see what they have in store for us here. A big question is, are they going to keep the design your own car portion? Rumors are pointing towards perhaps, but personally, I'm definitely partial to that original pre-show you had and some of the stuff you had with Test Track 1.0. I wish that we could get a little bit of that vibe back. You know, maybe not full crash test dummy, but you know, the pre-show and things like that, I really did appreciate that. Let me know what you guys think. Something also very exciting with this Test Track project is, unlike many of the regular Disney projects that we've seen at Walt Disney World as of late, this is not going to be one of those where Disney can be very lackadaisical about the update and it can take forever. Test Track needs to be open at EPCOT. EPCOT needs that capacity that Test Track gives to the park. So Test Track being closed, being offline for around a year here at a minimum, that is no small thing for park operations. That is going to hurt the hourly ride capacity at EPCOT. So to that end, Disney is very highly incentivized to get this thing back online as soon as possible, and hence that development period they've had where they know what they're going to do. They've already figured out everything they're going to do here. They got it all planned out, and now it's just about going in there and getting to work, and it looks like they're going to be going pedal to the metal starting on June 17th, 2024. Be sure you're subscribed with those notifications on. There'll be another 2 videos momentarily here for you guys over the next few days, so get ready for those. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all the support from the Mickey V's Magic Studio. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.